Welcome back to Quiet Money Podcast, the number one show for going through the ups and downs of life. Stay tuned. We're coming up next. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Quiet Money Podcast. I'm your host, Dax. I'm excited to have you guys back here with us once again. And as always, I got my beautiful co-host. What's up, man?
How you living?
I'm doing all right. How you doing today?
Good. My name is Randy. I am the co-host of Quiet Money Podcast.
Yeah, you feeling good today?
I am.
That's what's
How
up.
you
Why,
feeling?
so? I'm all right. Your energy is a little higher than mine, so.
Yeah.
What's going on?
And it's been a little higher this week.
Yeah, but it's all good. It's all good. What's up with you? Why your energy so high? What's going on?
I don't know.
Tell me. You look happy. You look, you know what I mean? Ready to hit the day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Feeling good.
I can't say. I don't know why it's so high. I don't.
Well, there ain't nothing wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyway, anybody that ain't listened to our podcast, welcome. You know what I mean? Quiet Money Podcast, the number one show for going through the ups and downs of life. We talk about everything on this show as we go through trying to be successful, living through life situations, right, babe?
Mm-hmm.
And just talking about the realness of it, because it's not all good and it's not all bad either, though. It's both. And on our platform, you actually hear about both, right? You know what I'm saying?
I want to talk about that.
Yeah, go ahead. What's up?
Because I spent some time this week listening to episode 11.
Mm-hmm.
And in that episode, it was I heard you, but I didn't hear you.
Right.
I don't know the exact name, but that one.
Yeah.
And when I listen to it, I'm listening like, wow, this podcast is really, really good, because I'm listening to it like it's not me.
Yeah.
But then
what happened?
It's so real.
Yeah.
Like, I'm on there, I'm talking about my feelings, and I thought about something that I told you earlier this week, which is when you put stuff out there, you open it to criticism.
Yeah, for sure.
So then I started feeling like, should we be doing this? Because like one of the issues that we were having, we solved it right there on the podcast.
I know.
Right.
I know.
Right.
I didn't even expect to go there with it, like what we was talking about. When we started, I was like, all right, but then I didn't know exactly where it's going to go. Yeah. So
I was thinking about that. And then it scared me a little bit.
What do you mean?
Because marriage ain't easy.
Nah.
We talked about that on the podcast too,
sure.
But it's opening yourself up for people to comment and say this, that, and the other. And I felt that because I saw some things in myself that I judge, and I was like, dang. And
what do you mean you judge? Like you judge how you did it, or you said it?
I'm about to tell you too, because this is one of the things. Okay, so you know how we got into a little argument.
What do you mean?
This week.
Yeah, I thought you were talking about on the podcast.
No.
All right.
So, one of the things I asked God for, I was like, if there's something in me that I'm not seeing, show me. Like, really, I really, really want to know. And I just found myself listening to the podcast, and I saw some things. That's what I wanted to talk about, because I could see how somebody would judge me, but I can also see why sometimes you tell me, I don't like the way you talk to me. And I saw it. I was just like, you know what?
You get spicy.
I get a little,
You get spicy, and it don't take much.
Yes. And for me, I'm like, okay, I have to get better at that, because for me, it's passion.
Right.
But it comes across very assertive. To me, this is my.
I mean, assertive is cool. Assertive, we give it assertive. That's fine.
But even me talking about this is, I'm still opening myself up.
Yeah.
And I knew that I was doing that with the podcast, but I think it's fine when it's the things that you like about yourself.
Yeah.
Then you start seeing the things that's not, it's a little.
For real.
Yeah. So I see what you're saying. And thank you for putting up with me. And I do apologize for some of my behaviors.
Hey, I ain't expect you to go here at all.
No, because I really didn't think that it was me. And then when I just heard myself talking and the way I talk sometimes, I'm like, yeah, I don't really like the way she talked to him.
Right.
Like, that's how I'm looking at, like, even though I know because it's me, but you're not in my mind.
So do you feel like listening to the podcast, you had like more objectivity or something?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's hard to do.
Mm-hmm.
On my side too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Maybe I need to go watch it. See, maybe I need to go see so I could come back and, you know, get it right with you. But here's the thing, right? You're talking about all this, right? When me and you decided with this idea to do this, it was taking all the conversations we usually have that we used to have with your mama sometimes too, and like bringing it, because we feel like we really got a message. You know what I'm saying? Now, here's the thing. We ain't never wanted to be no podcasters.
Right.
So I think what was coming to my mind when you was talking just now is like, we don't even know this ride that we about to be getting on. Because it's something that you feel like you have to do. See, first thing I'm did that is real uncomfortable. But it's like something's over my head that's like, yo, this is supposed to come out like whatever it is. You know what I mean? But I ain't got no clue how to do it or nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what's up. But when we had that conversation, it did get real and it did help us.
It did.
You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of dope. You know what I mean?
And then the other thing is, as I was walking through, like, wow, I'm really opening up myself. I kind of think of it as I'm sacrificing my marriage. Because a lot of people are not going to talk about the real issues, what's going on. And then this scripture came to me. Thank you, Jesus, for speaking to me. It was like, obedience is greater than sacrifice. I don't know where it is, but I read it somewhere in the Bible. And my interpretation is like, you're being obedient to your calling. So it's better than anything, even if it means sacrificing your marriage.
True.
So then I got peace with that. And I'm like, okay, well, here we go.
Hey, but you know what though? That's what's up though. But you know one thing, while the podcast is doing a lot, but one thing, you know, creating this type of platform and the way we're doing it and keeping it real about the good and the bad is like, it's kind of fixing a little bit one of the things that I had mentioned that causes bad communication sometimes, which is, yeah, you're hearing, but you're not hearing. You know what I'm saying? Or you're trying to talk, I'm trying to talk. You know, you're not hearing what I'm saying, you're hearing what you think, you know, like all of this kind of things. But like in this environment, I actually have to listen to you. You know what I'm saying? If you think about it, like, not saying I don't listen to you, but like because we're reporting and everything, I'm not just gonna jump over you a lot. And I probably do that sometimes, you know what I'm saying? But in this environment, I sit down and you get your whole thought out probably more than we do in like in the heat of the moment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's what's up, man.
And we have plenty of time to get it out. And I'm so glad that you brought that up.
Hey, what's up with you today?
Let me try to be more submissive in my tone and how I talk to you. But listen, I have been struggling a little bit with the team manager of the soccer team. And it bothers me. And I really, really wanted to do good and do better. And I feel like I have been. Now tell me if I'm wrong, but last weekend you had a tournament.
Right.
And I was there. I was sending directions to everybody, parking, offering it, you know, if you need to drop the kid off, I'll walk them to the field while you find parking.
Are you really about to go here right now? Is this what we talking about right now?
Yes.
Damn.
Yes. Damn. I'm sitting up there, I'm helping you set up the camera, set up the chairs. And I'm thinking I am really killing it. And I'm doing a great team manager thing. I had the kids, set them up for going to the babysitter so that I could be there at every game, pack their lunch, like things on the home front too. And I was really hoping that you would acknowledge something.
And I didn't?
You did not. You were, you didn't. And I was like, wow, like, I'm a little hurt by that.
Seriously?
Yes, I am. Because I worked so hard. Like, I was out there sweating, putting them chairs together. And the thing that you acknowledged was that I left the snacks over there. But nothing else. Like, if you think about everything that I did, and you don't even know, like, after each game, I went straight to the ref. Hey, ref, what's the score? That form I had to fill out this long form about the opposing team, where they from, their goals, our goals, contact information every single time. And it was not a short form.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, okay, I'm going to get to the ref. I'm going to fill it out. Like, before we left the field, the form was filled out. Like, I really, really gave 100%.
And I didn't say nothing.
You didn't say thank
you. And you know what?
You.
You're right about that. I didn't. Let me say thank you right now. Let me tell you I appreciate you right now. You know what I'm saying? I could see how that was hurtful. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes people they're having your back and doing all types of things for you, and you don't see it. Mm-hmm. And you don't acknowledge it, and you don't realize the impact that that's having on somebody, especially somebody that cares about you. So I apologize. I didn't know. Sometimes when you don't see it, it's not because it's not happening. It's just your focus ain't on the right thing. My focus was completely on what I needed to do, and I wasn't really considering everything that needed to be done, if you think about it. And you was filling the gap for me, mm-hmm. which is ironic, I guess, because I always say how I fill the gap for you. You know what I'm saying? But you was silently doing these things to make it go along, but you really wanted me to acknowledge you out loud, and I didn't do that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad you said that to me, because I could see it, and I should have. You know what I mean?
Well, you won't know unless I tell you sometimes. So I just wanted to.
But that's a good thing. I didn't even see that at all. Yeah. You know what I mean? But I love that you could just come and talk to me about this type of stuff. You could have told me then, though.
I don't think so. You were not.
I wasn't reachable?
No.
I weren't reachable?
You were not reachable.
Nah. But see, look, like I said, look, ups and downs are everything. We're in relationship together, business together, coach soccer teams together, like podcast together. Doesn't mean we're going to get everything right, and we might get it right in one thing and get it wrong in the next thing. But I like that we could come down and we could talk about it. We weren't always like that. You weren't always the person to be like, you did this and made me feel this way. You wasn't like that for a long time.
I held on to it.
I know. I was like, I see. But I think you're bringing it up at the right time.
You think so?
Yes. Yeah. This is the perfect time to bring it up. You know what I'm saying? Now, back to the game, and this is something I want people to relate. Like, back to what happened in the game. Let's take it a little further with the tournament and everything. Sometimes things happen as you're going along, when you're working with people, or you're in any type of team environment, or anything in your life where you're engaging with people, and it doesn't go the way that you expected, or specifically, they don't do the thing that you expected them to do. All right, so I want you guys to think about that for a second. So, like, things happen, and I'm gonna tell you what it is in a second, but things happen, and whether it's your friend, your wife, your girlfriend, husband, you know what I'm saying, brother, or whatever, you expected them to respond a certain way, and they didn't. And that happened this weekend, but I want to dive into that real quick. You know what I'm saying? So at the field, there was some communication, right? Mm-hmm. From family of players, right? Mm-hmm. At the field. That was some good advice that I probably should have took, right? Mm-hmm. In regards to, doing social media and stuff live, or while you're driving, that kind of thing. Because that's a lot of people do it, like in the car, social media, whatever type stuff. But at the same time, you're in the car, right? Mm-hmm. It's a vehicle, right? So that was something that came about that you didn't know about right away. Like, you didn't hear it. It was said somewhere else. So then later on in the week, you told me like, oh, this was said at the game.
Mm-hmm.
And my response was what? What was my response? What was my response? No, let's go there. Like, it's all right. What was my response?
It was extreme.
All right.
You were very upset.
Right.
Keep going.
Good.
Angry.
Mm-hmm.
Frustrated.
Yeah.
Mad at me. That's what I got.
You're right. Now I'm bringing this up for a reason, because what happens in these situations, and in that moment, I didn't do it. I was wrong. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes, if you really take the time afterwards to think about things, I always like, why do things happen a certain way? You know what I'm saying? So you didn't know I blew up, angry, everything you just said, right? And then I walked away from the situation. And I want people to think about this as they go through things too. When things don't work out, when you respond a certain type of way to people, you treat people a certain type of way, you talk to them a certain type of way, whatever it is, specifically when they quote unquote disappoint you. Because we all have expectations of people, no matter what. You think your mama's going to respond this way. You think your daddy's going to do this. You think your girlfriend's going to do this if this type of situation comes up. But then they don't. And as I think a lot of times when these expectations don't get met, people don't work out. It causes problems because we have expectations. And look what happened. I had expectation. It weren't met. I was very, very upset about it. But I sat back and I was like, why did that happen like that? Like, what is really going on? This is where we keep it real. And this is where people at home got to keep it real in their life too, about themselves, because you want to get better. You want to be successful. You're going to have to fix some things as a person. All of us do. Like we talked about, been through things, trauma and all that. So why did I react like that? So I sat down and I thought even more, and I'm like, in the history of my life, what's been going on that type of environment would make me uncomfortable? Not you. Like I pointed at you. Yeah, all right. I thought you was going to do this, but you didn't. But why am I so uncomfortable that you didn't? You know what I'm saying? And I thought about it and I'm like, oh, all right, well, I'm not really comfortable with the fact that I think somebody's saying something bad about me. That makes me very uncomfortable. That is something that brings a rise out of me, period, if I think that somebody's talking bad about me. And then I said, well, let me take that further. Where does that come from? And then I took it even further and I'm like, for a lot of time in my life, I grew up spending a lot of time alone. I had one friend growing up, my Aunt Raquel. I spent all my time before she died when I was like 12. I had a hard time learning how to make other friends after that and really, really enjoy other people's company and think that, and not me enjoying them, but thinking that they enjoy me. I struggle with that. Even growing up, like everybody I'm hanging around, do they really enjoy being here with me? You know what I'm saying? It's something that I always question, taking it even further, growing up pretty much with a single mama, somewhat. My mama was married, but my mama did everything on her own. So I think I grew up as this person that always had questions of like, if I'm good enough, if people like me, if people will want to spend time with me. That could happen to anybody. You think about any boy that, let's say, grows up without a father or grows up after losing a parent or is put into foster care or that's put into some other, like you're automatically in this environment of like, dang, am I good enough? Do people really like me? Do they want to spend time with me? Are they with me because I'm enjoyable? Or are they benefiting off of me? It causes all types of insecurities, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then taking it even further, I'm like, dang, I'm just a person that has history and trauma like that. So I look at somebody loving me and being loyal to me to make sure ain't nobody talking no trash about me. That's how it turned out later on in life. That's what I need from somebody now. I need somebody that's going to be right there and make sure ain't nobody talking no trash about me, because that's something that bothers me. You know what I'm saying? And that's something I'm not comfortable with. So in that moment, that's why it was responded to that way. Mm-hmm. To that type of passion and, like, you know what I'm saying? Anger and stuff like that. I was supposed to be disappointed. I might have wanted you to know that's cool. But everything else is from a real deeper place of, like, that really hit me. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That really, really hit me. And I think that's a big part as to why, which is like, how are you there and you're not defending me? And you're not participating in making sure that people's not talking bad about me. All right. So that was the big part for me, that had to sit down and be like, well, I can't blame you. I can't put that on you for that. I can't. That's wrong, because you couldn't do nothing about that. And at most, I should have been like, yo, you should have handled that communication better, made sure you knew what was going on. You know what I'm saying? But what I gave you was a Passover of how I feel about people talking and people putting me down and that kind of thing. And as part of my life. Now you're my wife now, you're going to get it the most. So, that's what I realized with that. Got to continue to work on that, because other situations will come up in life where you're going to have this kind of questions. You know what I'm saying? It comes up all the time. It's insecurities. It's not being sure that that person, that job, that whatever really cares about you. You know what I'm saying? I realized, like, that's a big thing with me, of looking like people don't think I'm good enough. People think something's wrong with me. You know what I'm saying? And for anybody listening, take that away. Like, don't ignore it, because if you grew up as a kid and it's certain people you wanted to love you or spend time with you or do things with you, or you was disappointed, if you was put in situations where you were learn a lot or not, you know what I'm saying? If you went through these kind of environments, you won't just naturally wake up and think that you're like the greatest person in the world. Like, how does that happen? You went without so many things. Like, it's a challenge. You need something to, like, reaffirm and kind of build your self-worth up in your life. You know what I'm saying? And you might have to end up doing that for yourself later on in life, but I could see how things from young have transitioned into that situation. So my bad, feel me? I'm going to keep working on that and working on being okay with just loving me for me and knowing I make mistakes. And if people's in my life, friends, family, or whatever, I don't got to put an asterisk on them and question if they really mess with me or not. Because if I keep looking at things through that lens, I'll always see things that will make me feel like they don't. And where does that come from? So I really wanna address that for real. Real talk.
Thank you.
For sure.
I accept your apology.
Yeah, no doubt. Now, the other part of that, which people got to take away, no, you got to take this away, because you make mistakes. And when things go wrong, if you're sitting there pointing at the other person, you're just not serious about making it better. If you're just looking at it one way, you know what I'm saying? But the other thing is, are you really okay with taking the criticism that you need? Because I am not. But the people that are around you the most, they could see the flaws in you the best. You know what I'm saying? So the other part that happened in that situation, which I need to address, I still ain't really addressed it like that, is that what was being said is what I need to actually take and do. I need to not do that. I need to be a little safer driving. What was being said is actually advice that objectively, you should say, you know what? That actually increases my safety. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like, if I really think about it, if I do this live or whatever parked, it's safer than driving. That's factually true. Mm-hmm. Remember we was talking about factual and feelings and all that? Like, factually, I got a quick reminder of something that will factually have me living a safer life. But all the feelings come into play. I can't even receive it. Right?
Yep.
Couldn't even receive it. But the news was there and the information was there. So if you're sitting there struggling in your life, you can't get through certain situations, you're not getting better at certain situations, you may not be getting the information. All right, cool. But maybe you should think, are you getting it and you just don't want to hear it for real? Because sometimes people are saying it. It might not be the person you think's going to say it, but you're getting the information. You're getting the reminder. You're in traffic, almost hitting that person that was right in front of you because you was taxing. Like, these little things are popping up, but you just ignore it. You ignore it until it happens. I'm being too real now. I'm exposing myself. My goodness. Hey. But real talk, right? Like, it shows up. God, he knocks quiet sometimes, and sometimes he knocks real loud. Mm-hmm. But there's little things pop up. Oh, I was just driving for the last 5 minutes. I don't necessarily remember it like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Or like the famous one, like I look up and it's like, oh, that car's closer than I thought. I hit the brakes real quick. Now, I weren't going to hit it, but I didn't really see it like I would have if I weren't on my phone. These things pop up.
Yeah.
But they don't mean enough to you. They're not impactful enough to you. We're humans. We're going to get knocked down. We're going to get hurt most of the time before we realize that it's serious. The quiet knocks we don't listen to, you know? So I recognize that. So y'all, with the advice, I take it. I'm going to keep working on it. I got a bad habit in the car, you know what I'm saying, with the fans sometimes. But I'm going to work on it because that little experience was a good highlight of a lot of things that need to be addressed. And everybody, if you're listening to us, man, serious, man, the things that are actually happening in your life, they might feel like little bumps, but they're only little bumps because the big bump ain't happened yet. But the little bump that's happening, the underlying thing, is like a huge thing that you ain't addressed. But God is blessing you here and there. It's sharing grace here and there. You know what I'm saying? You're not had that real fall off the cliff. You know, you keep trying to fall off the rope and he pulls you back, keeps you on the live wire. But you don't realize that there's little bumps. The underlying thing is actually a huge problem that needs to be addressed. And then when you get the huge bump, which would be, let's say I go hit the car, then all of a sudden, that would be like the hugest thing that I would be regretful for. Mm-hmm. I'll be like, I probably should have did lives at home.
And don't let it be a major bump.
No, but you get it? Yeah. It would be like, oh, I should have did lives at home. But it's the same activity. It just has a different severity now because of the impact that is there. But we don't got to wait for that, right? We don't got to wait for that. So that's what's up. I feel you on that. Hey, let me tell you on a different note, though, because I want you to talk about this. I'm going to switch your gears real quick because I don't want to have this podcast today without talking about this topic. And I know you know a lot more about this topic, but we have to be conscious about what's going on in the world right now. And we will be disingenuous without even talking about this. As I talk about God and everything, one of the things that I know we believe for real about life is what's happening now. Not that it's not new, but we're not surprised because we've been told these things are going to happen. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people out there, when they're looking at things in the world, they're like, this world is so crazy. I can't believe this is happening. I can't believe people. And we know that this is part of like prophecy for real. Like, this is how it's going to go. And you keep coming up like, I believe we're in the end times right now. Like, this is happening. Right. You know what I'm saying? Do. So I want you to talk briefly. And hopefully everybody listening knows about this already. I feel ignorant because I didn't know until you told me. But now I'm on my internet. I'm getting caught up. But we haven't been watching the news for a long time. Depressing. But now we've started to reconnect because we need to know what's going on in the world. to them for some part of it because we're in this world. We need to know, even though it's depressing and say it. This thing that's happening with Israel and what is it? Israel and what's the other country? I'm about to mess it all the way up. What is it? Israel and who? Is it Pakistan or something?
But it's not Pakistan, the country.
Okay. It's Israel and this like militia group or something like that?
Yes.
Listen, man. That is like something that is super crazy. Like super, super crazy to even think that this is happening, right? Now, as you look up the other country, because we don't want to get this wrong, there is basically what on the possible preface of like another war, right?
Mm-hmm. It's called Israel and Hamas.
Israel and Hamas. War. All right, so give me the background on what you know on what happened. The little bit that you know on what's been happening with this.
Babe.
What?
I don't like talking about this stuff. Like, I don't feel informed enough or educated enough to talk about what's going on, because I feel like right now I'm actually educating myself on it.
That's what I'm saying. Tell me about it.
Okay.
You ain't got to be an expert.
Oh, I'm no expert. No. I'm really just trying to learn what's going on just because I know Israel is so important in the Bible. So I'm like, hold on. I really want to pay attention. I don't know.
You just told me about it last night.
I know, but it just comes from a place of just noviceness. Like, I really don't feel confident to really say like this terrorist group, because I don't want to call things what they are based on my couple of days of what I've seen. Like, I don't know the history.
Randy.
Yes.
I'm not asking you to be an expert. Let me tell y'all what's going on in short. We have people out there that are doing things to little kids, murdering little kids. You know what I'm saying?
Elderly.
Raping little kids, elderly. You know what I'm saying? And this type of activity you could actually see on social media now. The impacts of that, some of the scenes of this. You know what I'm saying? And to me, it's like it's 2023, and as I'm home with my kids, about to go watch football tomorrow and go to the soccer game, it's people out there living in this type of environment where like the little kids are being taken from them and murdered. You know what I'm saying? The kids are being raped. That, like, to me, that is like the most disheartening thing. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't about, I'm not trying to put you on the spot to be an expert about what's going on in Israel and all that, but it's just, I don't want to not acknowledge that right now in the world, it's a lot of really terrible things. Like, it's a lot of darkness right now, and it keeps popping up in our life and the things that we watch. Every time I go on my fan, I feel like there's more darkness. Somebody else is getting either divorced, somebody's passed away. There's some type of terrorist type activity. Like, it's like super pervasive right now. And what you showed me with that and that is kind of like, you know, that just kind of struck me as like, what would it take for somebody to realize that it's got to be something else besides this place? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, what else would it take? You know? And that's just it's just very disheartening. I just feel bad for people's families involved in that, and you know, and the impacts that it could have is kind of scary. You know what I mean? And the other thing why I wanted to bring it up was because yesterday you was talking about us being like more cautious when we was outside. You know what I'm saying? So that caught my attention because like that makes it a little bit real. So I wanted to talk about that. I didn't know what the name is and all that, but you know, you don't got.
Yeah, I showed you some of the rioting going on in New York.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So like yesterday we went out to eat, and you was like kind of looking around and just making sure the setting was looking safe and secure. And I was just kind of walking in the restaurant thinking like this is really the world we live in. Like we're going out to eat, and we got to make sure we look around and just double check that ain't nothing crazy happening. That's all. Like, you know what I'm saying?
And I think the thing that concerns me, because I really don't like talking about politics and stuff like that, but I know right now our border control is weak.
Yeah, we not. Yeah, don't join this podcast thinking you about to be. I didn't even know the other country names, so you see where we're at with it, and you see Randy's like, I don't know an expert in that.
Yeah, I don't like to talk about it, but I will say,
but that's happening for real.
The concerning thing to me is that there's a lot of people coming through the border, and when you look at them, it's not. And this is just from what I've seen and read. I don't really know because I'm not at the border. But you don't see a whole rack of families coming through. You see a whole bunch of healthy young men coming through. Because to me, I'm like, okay, you're seeking refuge. You want a better life, whatever's going on, you're getting through. But when you look at like when people actually go down there and film and what they're showing, it's like young men. So I'm concerned. I'm like, well, where's the families? Like, what's going on? Why is there so many men? And it kind of makes me, I don't know. It just makes me a little concerned. Mm-hmm. Like, where's the wives and the children? Why is there so many men? And I bet you if I were to pull up some statistics, it'll be crazy. Like how many men opposed to women and children that's coming through. But either way, I don't know the solution. I don't like to talk politics, but that has got my attention. And the other thing is that's Bible prophecy is the Euphrates River has dried up, which was prophesied in the Bible thousands of years ago. Just so y'all know.
I didn't know that at all.
It would dry up, and it's dried up inexplicably.
Right.
Like they can't even explain why. But I'm like, I know why. Because we knew it would. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, but it's
that just it's like piqued my, I don't want to say interest, but like desire to be just a little bit more connected with what's going on out there. You know what I'm saying? What other people's being impacted by. And if I got a public platform, I ain't an expert on it, but I do want to touch on it just even for the, 3 people that listen to us. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But like
3 million, man. You don't know.
You know what I'm saying? But nah, like seriously, if you ain't heard about it, look it up. Clearly you can't get all the details from our podcast, but just know, like, if you're home in your bed, you're going to work today, you're getting a chance to go get you some McDonald's or something like that. Like, listen, man, there's little things.
Yeah.
Like, just being able to live, like, you know, this week, like, let's go back. When we started, your energy was higher. Mine was a little down. Mine is down because I'm just had a really, really busy week. But the thing is, though, for the first time in a little while, this was one of my busiest weeks, but it was one of my most productive weeks. And I felt the best that I have in a while during this week. You know what I'm saying? And I think the reason why is not because of that specific story or whatever, but like all week, I'm just kind of had this feeling of like just trying to appreciate my life, to be honest. It's been so much other things going on that it was such a tough week. I knew it Monday morning. I was just like, you know what, let me just appreciate the fact that I could go do all this stuff, man. And I just tried to push through it. And, you know, the other thing I've been challenged with, and, you know, as I switch gears again a little bit, but the other thing that I've been challenged with is knowing that, you know, people don't care for real. You know what I'm saying? And I realized, like, in general, people don't care, man. People don't care about a lot of things. You know, we live in a life where it's not really about caring about people anymore. Not in the right way. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times you're putting stress on yourself on certain things, and the person that you're involved with or whatever, they don't even care for real like the way you think they do. Mm-hmm. They don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, we become insensitive to other people's feelings, other people's problems, other people's urgency, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, I turned off the news, no problem, but I'm kind of gotten insensitive or disconnected to all of these terrible things that happen out there. I'm disconnected from that. I'm in my own world, worrying about me, which is fine.
Okay, so
you know what I'm saying?
Let me ask you though, because what do you think about that? Because I remember we turned it off in I don't know if it was 2020 or 2021, but I know it was a whole bunch of COVID cases, people dying, like all this stuff. And I'm like, you know what? I'm starting to be fearful of just, you know, being around people. And I didn't like that. So it was that, and then of course all the other stuff that goes on in the world. And I'm like, you know what, I don't want to live in fear. So that was kind of my reason for, okay, I'm gonna cut the news off. I'm gonna turn it on from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I turn it on, most of the time, I mean, sometimes they report on good stuff, but it's more negative than positive. But it reminds me of why I don't watch it like I used to. Even though I watch it a little bit more.
Yeah.
I don't watch it like I don't just sit up there and turn it on. Like I never let the kids watch the news.
Right.
Because when it's on, do you remember when we were at the pizza party and the news was on?
Oh yeah, and they were like, they were all into it.
Oh, they were all into it. And it was all terrible stuff. Like, yeah, there was a shooting down the street. Like,
exactly. That's the last thing they need. Mm-hmm. That's the last thing they need, you know. But it's a balance though, because you know, and the thing that I love about our show is like, look, man, as we're going forward and trying to just really be happy, successful in life at certain things, it's like everything along the way impacts you. And we got a platform where we actually talk about everything in a real way. Like even trying to get up in the morning and go make some money, like it's impacted by the fact that I turn on the news and I go see that it's like 3 kids that's been shot. Like it's just, we stop watching it because it's just so much negativity being pulled in, and the impact's different now. We got family, we got children, like some of the news and some of these stories and things, they kind of impact you a little differently than when you was younger on your end. You know what I'm saying? You can relate to things more. You get older, health stories start impacting you more. Like a lot of things are more relatable because the experiences you've been through and the things you're seeing, like the finite line of life and death is just so vivid to you.
Yeah.
So when you see all this negative stuff, it's like, it just impacts you way, way more than a 6-year-old. You know what I'm saying? That where life is just all opportunity and dreams and possibilities. By the time you get into 30, 20s, 30s, even younger, sometimes like life teaches you like, nah, it's actually like a real quick line between being healthy and sick, between being safe and in danger. You know what I'm saying? Between being happy and depressed, between being in your office as a manager, $150K salary, to being on the street with a sign. You start seeing all these real life examples
and you see
how finite things could switch on you.
Just like that.
You see what I'm saying? So it's hard to watch a whole lot of bad when you're navigating that type of life anyway. The type of world that we live in is messed up. I ain't even expect to go here, but it's messed up because for the most part, no matter what environment you're in, you can never really feel safe. It never feels like that type of safe and peace that we believe and that I know will come in the next life. From people that have relationships with God, like that safe peace that it's always gonna be all right. The world don't teach you like that. It teaches you that it's not gonna be all right. Something's gonna go wrong. You know what I'm saying? It's always got you on edge. Even if you're a multi-billionaire, you're on edge. Like, you know what I mean? It's everything. I can't become famous without somebody chasing me to the bathroom. Like, you know, it's just, you never get to just be at peace. And you always know a different person that's really connected with the Lord, because you look at them and it's like, don't matter what they got, they just got a peace. And in everything, no matter what, they just have a peace that is like unmatchable. You know what I'm saying? And that's like something that is ultimately what we should be trying to get to do.
It only comes from God.
You know, and once you have that, then you can go through the ups and downs of life and just ride it and ride it. But if not, it's going to take you all over the place. You know what I'm saying? Nah, one thing that I want to say with the news and everything, and we talk about this a lot, and this is probably where we're going to finish up today. You know, in this world we're living in, guys, like, you know why, in my opinion, you can go online right now and somebody could sell you a good feeling and it's easy for you to buy it. We're in this world now where it don't matter if the person's got skills or not. It don't matter if they verified or not. If you like the person and what they saying and whatever makes you feel good, you gravitate to the person. We're out there buying products just because we like the person. I have no idea if the material's gonna make your butt itch. You know what I'm saying? It don't even matter. It don't even matter. It's all about the person and the experience and supporting them. You know what I'm saying? But one thing that me and you talk about in this world we live in, the world sells sadness, then. Everything is out there, I swear, to like have you be sad, have you be low. Everything from the food that they want to make you eat, the stuff that you watch on TV, whether it's the news or not, the music that you listen to sounding real ill, but it's true. Like everything underneath it is like this kind of message to put you in a state where you would be insecure, you would be unsure of yourself, you'll be sad. Like it's just so much like I feel like that's what I feel the most. It's like it's a whole lot of like sadness or negativity and like everything. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I feel. You know what I mean? It's like it's just a layer of like this environment of like self-doubt and being unsure and comparison and not being good enough. And it kind of keeps like every single person is kind of in this thing of like what happens in life that will really, really make you feel like I'm great as on my own. Like the way that I am, I'm great. I don't need like just me. I'm Daxter and I'm great because of this. And that's it. And everybody loves that. Like the unique thing about Daxter, where do I feed that into? Like just me. Like I get if it's popular and it connects to a trend and stuff, people will watch it and double tap it. But like where's the thing that's like, hey Daxter, I want to meet you, bro. I want to meet you.
I think there's more of that than what you think.
Well, help me out with that. Where do you go? Where does somebody go if they want to be able to say be like literally be themselves and it's promoting being happy, healthy, you know what I'm saying, supporting other people, stuff like that.
I think that you have to really seek it out and go to like Facebook groups or meetups, listen to certain podcasts, like connecting with those people. I think it's out there. I've had a couple of DMs. Okay. People saying, you know, I like what you're doing. I appreciate you. Or, you know, you motivate me. So I think it's out there. It may not be as prevalent, but
it's there.
It's there.
You got to look for it.
It's there.
I got to look for it.
And you have to make it okay. Like you have to be the one.
Now, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. You're saying it's out there. But to me, if it's out there, I'm got to go look for it, which I will, which I should. I'm glad to know that. Other people should know that. But my thing is like everyday life and what you see, experience and stuff. Like, I don't see that at all. You know what I'm saying? And maybe it's something that if you really want it, you got to go find it. You know what I'm saying? But to me, I don't see that at all. That's not the things I see when I open my phone or watch TV or anything like that. That's not the things I see at all. I see not even the things I see coaching. That's not the things I see anywhere. What I see is two things, to be honest. It's I want to get the result, so I want to be great, and like that work ethic and thing in between is like most people don't want to do that anymore. You just want to get to the result, and then the other part is like comparison. It's like this is this, this is that. Yeah, it's like a comparison world now, which is like, hey, I'm great, but like, what do you think I am versus this? What do you think this is versus that? I need to go do this to be like this. So to me, and again, I love our show. We're creating a platform like this, but I don't know any other platforms like this. I don't know any other shows like this. And I don't know any show that I don't know anything out there where I'm going to go on and I'm going to see that you got, you know, like this new Gucci bag. All right. Mm-hmm. I don't know nobody's platform. I mean, you could help me out. And they got a new Gucci bag or whatever. Right. And they also talk about the other things that they didn't buy or whatever and sacrifice to buy that bag and this and different. I would just see the smile in the Gucci bag. I don't know anybody that will communicate like that. So you're gonna have to help me out.
Yes, but there are people doing it just like us, I'm sure, that we don't know about, just like people don't know about us.
That's what I'm saying.
So
you got to go find it. You got to go find it.
you got to go find it.
To that point, we're creating this platform and for people to come here and be real about things. This is why I know we had to do it. Because what sometimes what you're looking for or what you think ain't out there or what you think is missing, right? It's you that's missing. No.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
I
so
agree.
You may sit there and again, I was taking this somewhere, which is like, it's not just about, it wasn't about me saying this ain't out there in the world, yada, yada. It was about recognizing that I must want that to be there.
Yeah.
Right? So put it out there. The things that you like, it's the things that you don't like or that you don't think is out, happening. You could make it happen. You could be part of the solution. You know what I'm saying? You could be part of actually doing the things that you would want to see. So I think that's kind of dope too. That's what we're doing, which is like, I clearly want that. I am that. You are that. Why not create it?
Right.
I'm going to create in this community now. Instead of looking for it, I'm going to create it so it all comes right here. Because that's clearly what our message is, what we want to happen. Like what's important to us is being real about the good and the bad about things. So if that's what I want to continue to bring out to the world, and like, let's create that platform where people come and gravitate to that. And then it will be there. Now, not a lot of people know about us. You know what I'm saying? But this is like the first step of addressing something. Mm-hmm. We're addressing it. You know what I'm saying?
We're addressing it.
Yeah. So that's what's up. You know what I'm saying? So maybe the world won't be something that is just selling negativity or unsurety or whatever, because we're part of this world also. And what our voice is encouraging, being real about things, helping, analyzing, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Addressing root cause about stuff, you know what I mean? And recognizing the good and the bad of it so that you can really authentically get to the good part, you know what I'm saying?
So what you gonna do when the blogs start talking about you?
Blogs talking about me?
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? To be honest, I don't know what I'm gonna do, because that's touching right on the thing we talked about. I don't know what I'll do. I don't know what I'll do. You know what I'm saying?
You gonna be going off?
I don't know. I really don't know, because I don't like nobody talking to nothing. I might be the first. I might be the first celebrity, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll be, Instagram verified. You know how you get celebrity comments or whatever, and there'll be like 10,000 comments, and they probably double tap like 100 of them. I'll be the only one responding to every giant. Every single one.
They'd be like, somebody, please get him a PR manager.
I'll have responded like 9,000 times to like 9,000 different people clapping back at everything. Well, you don't like my shirt? Blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? You think I think I'm this? I'll clap at everybody. Maybe I'd never get no work done, because I'll just be on social media clapping back at everybody. You know what I mean? But nah, that would be a growth thing that I would need to do, because, and that would be an urgent thing to fix, because the message that we have is the most important. And you can't let that be impacted or changed by anybody else. Because not everybody's going to be for it.
I know.
Not at all. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody wants to recognize like the good part and the bad part. Not everybody wants to do that.
But the interesting thing is, if you know your insecurities and like if you talk about them, nobody can really use them against you. Because it's like,
well, if I keep doing this podcast with you, I'm about to expose every insecurity. I don't have a chance. I don't have a chance. We want to talk about the ups and downs. We just bring both of them here. So I wouldn't have a chance to end
all
it
up
at
in
all.
the marriage. Randy said this. I don't know, because Dexter with his fine self.
Nah, it'd probably go the other way around. It'd probably go the other way.
Girl.
You know what I'm saying? But nah, it's just, I really love that we sit there and really think about where things come from, man. And I don't think people do that enough. You know what I mean? So I want to wrap up with, find the origin of things in your life. That's probably the best advice for you to take away. Find the origin. If it's good, what was the origin? Why was it good? What did you do? You know what I'm saying? What was the main thing that made that work? Keep doing that. If it was bad, all right, we know what happened. We know how somebody reacted or what they said or whatever, but take the time to figure out what's the origin of it. Where's it come from? You know what I mean? Try to fix it. Fix the origin part, because it's going to keep popping up at different times and different moments. And, you know, an easy example is that person that, you know, you bump into in traffic and you wonder why they get out their car and slap the crap out you. You know what I'm saying? It's not that little scratch you put on the car that made them do that, you know? And if that person drives off and says, you know what? I'm so tired. I can't stand when people touch my car. I just can't take it. Then nothing ever changes. They'll go slap a couple more people in traffic. You know what I'm saying? And whatever made them that type of person that's so angry will never ever be addressed, you know? And then God might come knocking one day, real light, like he does. Person you slap gives you a little, you know, complaint, fine or whatever. And, you know, all right. But then what happens that night when you out at the bar, you've been drinking? You know what I'm saying? Your girl's been irritating you all week, ain't had no time for you. Ain't doing damn things she used to do, even though she looking better than she used to look. And you're frustrated. You go to the bar, and we all know what unhappy people love is seeing happy people. And that person goes into the bar and maybe that guy bumps into him that night. It's a different story. Maybe he does a little more than slapping somebody in traffic. Now God knocks on the door real loud because he ain't been able to control his anger. And now he's cracked this guy over the head with a bottle. And he in ICU fighting for his life. Maybe don't make it. Happens all the time. There's little things that you never address because you don't recognize how big they actually are because you never been impacted bad enough. Just like I was talking about earlier. Find the origin of things while it's minor. Don't look at it just on the impact. That's not the way to judge what the problem is or not. Because God's grace is big, but it runs out sometimes. Some people, for whatever reason, get more of it. You know what I'm saying? But don't look at it as, oh, this little thing happened to me, so what I'm doing is not a big thing. Because what you're doing is probably a big thing. Take the opportunity and these blessings to fix it while it's not so impactful to you. You know? And that's just an example of how it could go. But it happens all the time. You know? Find the origin of things and it will help you out a lot in your life. And it's going to take some work sometimes. Look at me with my origin. How am I going to get off this podcast today and all of a sudden be okay with the next time Rand is around some people that's talking and she don't hear it and she don't communicate? Am I automatically going to be like, yay, it's all good, Randy? I know people talk. It's all good. I could say that, but that wouldn't be real. So how would I get through that? Gotta address it. Talking to you about it helps though, you know? Find the origin and things. You got anything else, babe? Hey, yo, make sure you follow us on all platforms that have podcasts, Quiet Money Podcast. I'm your host, Dax. I got my beautiful wife, as always, Randy, with us. You know what I mean? And we just keep it real on our show about everything in life, man. Money, relationships, personal issues, opinions. Like, you ain't gonna find no other show that's this authentic and real about what really happens in life. And we appreciate you listening to us. Right, babe? Mm-hmm. And until next time, peace. Make sure you follow Quiet Money Podcast on all streaming platforms that have podcasts. Follow us on Instagram. Leave comments on our videos. Let us know what you're going through, ups and downs. We want to hear from you. We engage with you. And we'll see you next time. Peace.